Thank you and good morning, everybody. It's my great pleasure to preside over the launch of Lygon, something that has had quite a significant gestation period, but I'm delighted now to officially welcome all of you and to, as I say, open the launch. Lygon was an idea that came from a seminal meeting a number of years ago between large property, commercial property owners and banks. The property owners were frustrated by an archaic process that banks forced upon them, gave them paper, gave them friction and gave them worry. And we got together with our partners at IBM and at ANZ, and we decided to see if we could fix a problem that was substantial enough to warrant a significant enduring collaboration, which is what this has been. And I'm very proud to say that the parties that are now involved, including Westpac and CBA, IBM and Scentre Group, have had a truly enduring collaboration around solving an industry problem that is unseen and not much light is shed on it by media or even bankers at times. But it definitely was a pain point and a friction point for many recipients. We also felt that the emerging blockchain technology that many of us were analysing and evaluating at the time was in fact the perfect technology, and this was the perfect problem for that technology. What we resolved after a POC was that we could in fact digitise and agree to standardise, secure and confidentially reveal a digital instrument on a set of shared ledgers with very low cost. No overhead, no clearinghouse, no adjudicator or referee involved, just the technology doing what it's supposed to do. So we were very proud of that. And then we got into the negotiation around how do we run this company? And I see our board members smiling because this was 5 large companies negotiating how do you run a startup? It was tough, but we got there in the end and we learned a lot. We learned a great deal about how our organisations operate, around how we support an emerging technology, an emerging solution, and ultimately resolving to make it happen, incorporating the company, setting up a board, and then hiring a great team. We hired Justin Amos back in November of 2020. He's come from an industry background of both banking, consulting, and some technology advisory as well. And we're delighted to bring him on. He quickly crystallised a team, many of whom are here today, to drive Lygon forward and to realise the many possibilities that we believe, even after a long gestation period, are still absolutely valid. And we're very excited to launch Lygon today. And I'll pass you to Justin Amos. Thank you very much.
Well said, well spoken, as always. Again, thank you everybody for coming. This is a very important day. So background, Lygon has introduced, because we went live over the weekend, a national financial services infrastructure that responds to a unilateral request from our industry to resolve the issues that come from a physical bank guarantee. Lygon, our mission is to be the primary market operator for digitised financial assets, enabling global commerce whilst, and this is equally as important, reducing its environmental impact. We are achieving this by launching Lygon Arc. The Lygon Arc platform removes the friction in the bank guarantee process for all parties involved, and with 24/7 visibility, the experience of obtaining and managing your financial agreements has been transformed. The problem is with paper. That's what we're fixing. The core of today's experience with bank guarantees stem from the physical nature of the guarantees themselves. The effects of this are felt by all participants in commerce. Paper is slow. This is why we use emails, okay? Paper is expensive, and it's estimated there are over 1 million journeys alone in Australia transporting paper guarantees. Paper costs the environment, using 4 million pieces of paper a year and the CO2 to both make them and transport them. We have to keep that in mind. Paper gets lost, is easily spoilt, and is subject to fraud. It's problematic to amend. See all previous points. Okay, all parties involved support this digital change. It's not going to be easy, but it is a unilateral vote that we need to change this process. All of which, by the way, is compounded by the variety of bank guarantees and the legalese on those bank guarantees in the process, which everybody has to deal with. That's something we've solved for. I've got a story. When I was doing my due diligence on this before I joined, I phoned around, did some market research, and I ended up speaking to the 2IC, second in command of a centre in Western Australia, who I got put onto. And I asked, do these issues that I've been told exist resonate with you? And the response was a laugh. I said, do they resonate with us here? This is the single biggest problem in our day. And if somebody working here in our offices has a problem with whatever is going on in their life, we send them down to the bank to deal with the guarantee process so they can unload on their bank clerks, because the process is that full of friction. And then they come back, they're feeling better, and they get on with their day. So it's there, it exists, everybody feels it, okay? I just want to talk very briefly about why use Lygon, okay? The fact that we have a single agreed legal architecture that has been codified in our platform is a major breakthrough. Technology is one thing. The legal framework and architecture is something completely separate to that, and has, I would suggest, required more effort than the technology has over the past few years to get there, okay? Why do we have partners? Well, the interconnectedness requires critical mass. Any kind of network service or business requires critical mass, and you have to have partners. And the partners enable the realization of the benefits that we're bringing to the table. If we don't actually have this, then it wouldn't come to what we want it to be. You can't just do this with technology, unfortunately, but great technology is required. Okay, so our technology aspirations, well, these are being realized through partnership with the IBM's blockchain teams. I think it's important to note that what we're doing, IBM have been building financial services infrastructure and supporting all of business through that infrastructure for over 50 years. They're the perfect technology partner for the trust that we're bringing to the marketplace, okay? And finally, what I'm talking about here, I've got some statistics, because everybody likes statistics and facts. So please don't challenge me on these facts in this room today, because I'll never get off the podium. But I'd like to point out a few things that are really important. From our analysis, there's over 80,000 courier deliveries or postal deliveries in Australia supporting the totality of bank guarantee products in any one year. And that's not just going from a branch to an office. There's a centralization in bank guarantee. So that's traveling from Perth to Sydney and back from Sydney to Perth, and then it gets amended. It's got to go back again and back again and back again. All right, I want to do a demand at the end of the life cycle of, okay, the whole thing's got to happen again, okay? So we shouldn't underestimate the environmental impact of using paper supporting commerce. And this is one of many digital transformations that can take place in Australia. The time saving, we're not going to talk about going from 6 weeks to 1 day, because there's lots of other things around it that are important that have to take place as well. But the time saving is evident in our analysis. And then a good example of who this impacts would be some of the people that toughing it out at the moment. A team that's required to install some air conditioning in a new office, for example, they have to provide a guarantee. If they have to run around trying to get that guarantee and there's delays in getting that guarantee, it impacts their ability to earn. All right. So from our analysis, we think in the totality of guarantees in Australia, there's over 6 million business days or trading days that get saved by going to digital. And that's a conservative estimate. All right. And it's substantial. 4 million pieces of paper. Major impact, not only in the production of that paper, but where does that paper come from? It's not all recycled, okay? By going digital, we start to sort of like erode into the areas of fraud But not just nefarious fraud, but guarantees that have been spoiled. So it becomes a problem when people are trying to demand those guarantees, or they lose them. Or there was a great case. There is a case that we spoke to recently where the guarantees were put into a box, not a secure metal box. And the guarantees, which were worth hundreds of millions of dollars, started to spoil. They got damp. There was mildew on them. They were moth-eaten. That's gone. We're going digital. That cannot happen. All right. So the staff savings, the OPEX, we can talk about that all day long. This is why digital transformations are occurring. So statistically, there's a significant impact that we can have. So that's what I have to say about what we're doing. And I think I need to get off the podium now and allow the main event to happen. And I would like to welcome Rodolphe Salem, who is our COO. And Rodolphe, commendably, has been with Lygon from day one. And he's had the perseverance to see it through to this point. So come on up, Rodolphe.
Thanks, Justin. Thank you all. Today we're going to actually mint our first bank guarantee live. And to do that, the reason we're doing that is next week Lygon's actually moving into new offices. And as part of us moving into new office, we need a bank guarantee. In having the bank guarantee, Scentre Group, ANZ is Lygon's banker, and they'll be the issuer of that bank guarantee. Scentre Group will be the beneficiary of the bank guarantee to secure the obligations under the contract. On that point, what I'll do is I'll log into the Lygon platform and kick off the process. Joining us are representatives from both Scentre Group and ANZ in the room as well. As you can see, as part of logging onto the platform, I'll get a two-factor authentication. So that will be sent to me by mobile. And that's just an added security as part of our platform logging in. And now what you can see is the Lygon platform from an applicant's perspective to kick off the bank guarantee process. The flexibility of the platform allows any party, whether it's a beneficiary or an issuer, to kick off the bank guarantee process. And the workflow within the platform adjusts itself based on who kicks off the process itself. To kick off a bank guarantee, I simply select a new request and start a bank guarantee request. In this case, it's Scentre Group as a beneficiary. The platform is intuitive enough to identify that I am an applicant and represent Lygon, and pre-populates those details already for me. In terms of the issuer name, in this case it's ANZ. The purpose of the bank guarantee, it is a commercial agreement. The property name, I'll put in the details. I've got the ability to put in unit number, the address, suburb of city, postcode, I also have the ability to put in a contract number. There's no contract number in this specific case, and the option comment in terms of what this contract is related to. And again, this is about the obligation and the license between the applicant and the beneficiary, so between Lygon and Scentre Group itself. The expiry date, in this particular case, it's an open-ended bank guarantee. So I can simply select an open-ended bank guarantee. The amount is in AUD. The total amount of the bank guarantee is $19,690. And the guarantee terms, as Justin alluded to, these are standardised guarantee terms that we reference on the platform itself. And I'll just select those bank guarantee terms. It's that simple. I create a bank guarantee. Now we can see the details, where the details of input around the parties involved in the bank guarantee, the guarantee details itself, and the purpose of that bank guarantee. From the workflow, you can see that I have requested the bank guarantee. It's now gone to an approval on the beneficiary side. That will send an SMS or email notification to a representative of Scentre Group. In this particular case, it's Richard Williams, who is the treasurer of Scentre Group, who will join me on stage to approve the bank guarantee.
Okay, thanks, Rodolph. So I've logged into the platform and I'm looking at my work list now. So I'm going to be the beneficiary. I've seen the application from Lygon. I've read through all the details, which are correct. And so my simple task really is to approve that by pressing the approve button.
Now, as you can, Richard, from Richard's PC, that's been approved.
That's all done. Yep.
Thank you, Richard. What we can see now on the applicant screen is that we can see a tick next to approval by the beneficiary. Based on the workflow, what that has now triggered is an email and an SMS to ANZ notifying them that there is a bank guarantee awaiting their approval. Normally ANZ or any issuer would complete credit and compliance checks as part of the issuance processes of a bank guarantee. These have already been completed Representing ANZ is Maria Belmas from their trade and supply chain team. And now ask Maria to validate and approve the bank guarantee from an ANZ perspective. As Maria has double-checked that information and checked that the information is correct in relation to the bank guarantee and it meets all ANZ requirements, that bank guarantee, we can see is now a live bank guarantee on the Lygon platform. What we can see, I can go back and double-check on my end from an applicant perspective. Once ANZ have pressed the approve button, or any issuer has pressed the approve button, the bank guarantee is now a live bank guarantee, giving visibility to all three parties around the information of that bank guarantee. Also allowing them to amend, cancel, uplift, transfer, or use the bank guarantee that's now been created as a template going forward. The beauty about our technology and underlying capability and infrastructure is we now have an audit trail that you simply could not get with paper. And this audit trail is visible by all parties, stating the date or any action on that bank guarantee by any specific party. That now concludes our issuance of a bank guarantee, and we have now minted our first bank guarantee on the Lygon platform. I now pass on back to Justin for closing remarks. Thank you.
Well done, Adam. Okay, so let's be very brief. All right, so to wrap up, here we go. We sincerely, on behalf of Lygon and the board and everybody else, we sincerely thank everybody, and I mean everybody, to getting us here today. It's been quite a journey for a lot of people involved, and the endurance shown sometimes in the face of adversity. It's been quite amazing. So just to say, so we have seen through this issuance today that the technology and legal frameworks are ready for digital guarantees, period. Over the next few weeks, ANZ and the other issuer banks will finalise their readiness at their own speed to utilise the platform. This will provide a clear pathway for applicants and beneficiaries to request the issuance of digital bank guarantees.